Because eukaryotes are more complicated, we have to have a shared language in order to communicate about this properly. So we remember that the DNA of our eukaryotic organisms are held within the nuclear envelope. So we're going to get rid of that nuclear envelope in order so we can do cell reproduction. Now, us being animals, and in this multicellular stage, we're going to have 2 copies of each chromosome. We're going to be diploid. We're going to get 1 copy from mom, 1 copy from dad. Boom. If they're plant, animal, fungus, protist, all eukaryotic organisms are going to alternate between being a haploid stage and a diploid stage. The details of how we do sexual reproduction are going to differ. So us animals, we only have a multicellular diploid stage. We have special cells in our body that are going to undergo this process of meiosis that we're going to talk about next week to create gametes. And our gametes are our haploid cells. These are our sex cells. So when we have egg and sperm, depending on what kind of gonads you have. Now, plants and algae, they're weirdos. Haploid stage is multicellular. Their diploid stage is multicellular. They're a little bit more complicated, but they're still alternating between haploid and diploid. 1 set of chromosomes, 2 set of chromosomes. One of the problems with having your genetic material in a helical structure is that it will get tangled up really easily. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this double helix of our DNA, and we're going to wrap it around these special proteins called histones. Okay, and that's going to keep our DNA a little bit more organized so it doesn't get tangled up so much. Okay, and then we're going to see this further condensing, and further packing up until we get to this structure that we call a chromosome. Okay, and most of the time in our cells, the DNA is hanging out in this chromatin form. It's a little bit more relaxed. It's a slightly chilled. But when it's time to move the DNA around the cells, get ready for DNA replication, we need to pack it up nice and tight so it doesn't get lost or damaged. So then it's just like packing your fine china up in a box. You're going to bubble wrap that fella. You're going to make sure it's nice and tight, make sure things aren't wiggling around and getting chipped and broken. That's how we're going to do it with our DNA. So the DNA, the chromosome, is the most packed form of the DNA. Okay, if we're a diploid organism, which us humans are, we're going to have homologous chromosomes. Okay, these are chromosomes that have the same length, that have the genes in the same location, and are going to, we get 1 set of the homologous chromosomes from mom, 1 set from dad. So if we look at this karyotype or this image of the chromosomes, we can see that, okay, we got this chromosome from mom, this chromosome from dad, this chromosome from mom, this chromosome from dad, and so on. Okay.